You can have it your way when you're dealing with a king. You can have it your way when you're dealing with a king. You can have it your way when you're dealing with a king.
Finish. And again, God was along the way. When I got to Ghana, just like Pastor George, I met another Ghanaian pastor who knew Pastor George.
Wow.
So it was like
coincidence.
Yeah, divine providence, I would call it. God made a way. And so he became like my sponsor there. So when I finished high school, he sent me to the Bible school, Ghana Christian College, and Ghana Christian University. And that's when I went to formal Bible school and then finished college. And then, I finished college. I finished college in June, and in July I came to the U.S.
Wow.
Yeah, but the interesting part when I was in Ghana, I don't know if I know you've been to, but we call it Bodo Zion before we left.
No.
But Bodo Zion was like a mental hospital. I don't know, you all know about Norristown?
Yeah, a little bit.
Norristown State Hospital, where they have special hospital for people who developmentally, So that's why it was for, but when refugee came, they moved and they gave all that place. So I'll be in Accra on the weekday, Monday to Thursday, Friday, then come back on the refugee camp on Saturday. And actually, interestingly, at that age, I was the leader for the refugee church we started there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Budapest Refugee Church.
Yeah, I heard about, I have heard about Budapest. I think they closed it now.
They closed it. They took over,
And a lot of the Liberians and other people went back to their respective countries.
Yeah, but they did it the way they did it, and not cool, man.
Yeah, I heard about
they
it.
forced people out. They didn't give them any
heads
up, or even some kind of a compensation, because people build nice houses there. They just took over it like that, which was not fine at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Building in a foreign land.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
No, not at all.
So you there, you college now, you got this new guy in your life.
Yeah, Pastor T.B.
Pastor
Dankwa.
T.
Yeah.
And then you came here. So relocate. Now, it was just you by yourself, right? When you first came here, or you have family? Or?
So that's the part of the story. When I left Liberia, all my family stayed there, but I went with some church folks,
Oh, wow.
I can share this story that Spencer, you haven't heard this, but those high school sweethearts, middle school sweethearts, I literally followed my middle school people to go to exile. And the pop saw the gift and potential in me from the church. So literally, I left the country with them to go to Ghana.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. But it didn't last, though. In Ghana, it fell apart, and I continued on my path to school and stuff like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually...
Yeah.
I'm shocked, bro. Listening to I have so much questions.
Real true story. Yeah. So literally, when the Civil War happened, wherever you are, you just fled. And for me, I was at church. Literally.
So you were like literally that's
Icta.
Yeah. So
at St. Paul, I was still in the same church in school. So my parents fled and went to the village, our village in Bond County, but I stayed back in Kakata. So when she and her parents were leaving Liberia, they invited me, and I obviously wanted to leave Liberia because the option was two. As a boy, you either have to join one of the rebels, or you be their servants, or if you had chance to leave. And I had the blessing to leave the country.
So you really just left with no family, no auntie,
family,
uncle, brother. By the way, how many siblings do you have?
Oh, I have about 8.
That's all.
Yeah.
I thought you probably had
from
more.
my mom.
Oh,
from his mom.
But the past time we around 20-something plus.
Jesus.
The one we know about though.
Hey.
We keep finding some of brothers and sisters
20
here and
what?
there. Yeah. 20 plus.
Yeah,
I mean, other 4 women come on that.
Yeah, if you get multiple wives, bro, come on. Man.
I know, but
do the math. It's math.
It whether they average 3 or 4.
Yeah.
wow.
The math is mathing, bro.
So, but you knew? Did you know some of them? Like
Later,
growing up?
eventually, I
Okay.
got to know them. But from my mom's side, I have 8.
Okay, so you just live by yourself. None of them.
None of my siblings.
Oh my God.
But I found my older sister from my past side in Ghana.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
when you were there.
When I was there. Literally, they came to me.
Yeah.
God has really made a way
Yeah, you
along
had a
the
lot
way.
of divine interventions, man.
That's crazy because he found his brother when he went back too.
Yeah. I found 2 of my brothers, my uncle. I found 2 cousins that I've never met before.
Yep.
And then I just found I talked to my older sister. So I think there's 8 of us total from my dad.
Yep.
I have, including my twin brother, but it's just crazy. Like, I'm 33, and I just, last year was the first time I actually laid eyes on 2 of my brothers for the first time in my life.
It's real. Yep.
People don't realize that sometimes, how that has an impact on you as you grow up.
It does.
So I cannot imagine you going to a whole new country by yourself.
Yep.
barely graduated high school
Yep.
without anyone. That is crazy to think about.
Yep.
I mean, hard time with dedication.
Yeah,
it's hard work.
yes. And in retrospect, I really feel bad because not everybody had a good story like mine
course.
because a lot of our friends did not survive.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we heard. I mean,
Made some choices that we were talking earlier that perhaps was the only choice they could have made that led to their demise. So,
oh man.
yeah.
Unfortunately. Rest in peace to all the fallen
Yeah.
soldiers.
Amen.
So,
Yeah.
But yeah, so after, now we're in America.
We are in America.
Yep.
So how old are you when you first got here?
So I was born 1970-ish.
Oh, you young.
I mean, young, yeah.
What?
So when I got to America, 2001, probably early 30s, I finished high school in Ghana and I finished my undergraduate. So when I got here, I've been known in the church by this time. But in America, the standard for being a pastor is different from
Yes.
in
In
Africa.
Africa.
So let me just clarify something because
please
that's
do.
other people really confused. You know, reverend is a professional title. Then pastor is a work title.
So what's the difference?
So the difference is anybody can be reverend. You could be a reverend, you don't have a church. That you qualify, you met the credential, you were ordained.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But to be a pastor, you have to have a congregation. So when you have a congregation, you are a pastor, and then you will have a pastor. But if you are just a minister who have met the credential, then you are
got
like a professional title, like doctor, nurses, and stuff like that.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wanted to make that clarification.
Like I said, there's a lot of things we're going to learn over
Yeah.
here. It's over.
And so we got what we call the institutional church and what we call the non-institutional church. The institutional church has the churches that are denomination that have a structure. You know,
Okay.
you got to start from A to B. But there are some churches that are independent churches. You know, anybody can wake up and form a church as long as you incorporate, have a name, and yeah. So like human being, we are born. You know, like in America, I use this example. When you are born, they give you a name and a social security and a date of birth.
Right.
Then you become official. So in the same way with the state and in any organization, as long as you incorporate it, it becomes legitimate. It has a name, it has a date of birth, and
Yeah.
it have an IN number.
Yep.
So anybody can wake up and go register a ministry as long as you meet the paperwork requirement. That can be a church, and you are the founder, you are the leader, you are the only one. But some are part of what we call the historic church. You know, Catholic, Baptist, Lutherans, those are the historical churches that have been around for a long time. So the difference today, you see, some of the house churches, those are what we call independent churches or mushroom church.
Okay.
churches.
I
They are
get it.
new, they just, but the established church are the Lutheran, the Catholic. So I am one of the established church, the Lutheran
Okay.
church. So I had to go through the ranks.
Oh.
So when I got here, the minimum requirement was to do a master's degree, master's of divinity. So with my bachelor, that was not enough. So I had to go to school here at the Lutheran Seminary at Philadelphia for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you had to do a theology degree, a master's in theology.
Divinity, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then after that, then I was qualified for ordination. Then when I was ordained, then I came to the church in East Lansdowne.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where we met Spencer.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a whole step, bro. It's
So
not like-
wow. So 4 years
Yep.
after get your master's. Then how long? So from you getting your master's to getting ordained, how long did that take?
So it's a 2-step process. You're going through the school at the same time you're going through what we call candidacy. The candidacy is to go through the credentialing. Like you got to go through psychological assessment. You got to go through evaluation. You got to do a lot of stuff because it's one of the things in America is lawsuit. So they got to be sure you are ready to do this because God forbid when you are a minister there, if you abuse any child or woman or something, that could be a huge lawsuit, and they're not just going to be against you, it's going to be against your whole denomination. So you got to go through the process to be qualified, to be certificated, in addition to the academic. So it's not just the academic, pay mortgage and stuff. So all we had to do is to pay the bills, and we have the building, which is still there today.
Yeah, that's so that when you came in,
Yeah.
that church is already there.
What's there for 100 years?
That's been there for 100 years.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah, they built it good, can go care of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yep.
I never would have guessed that. Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so the old church there was Immanuel, that's IMMANUEL Lutheran Church.
Emmanuel.
Lutheran Church, which means God is with us, which is one of the famous names in the Bible when Christ was born. But we started what we call Faith Worship Center at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, which was the immigrant population. So 6 years later, we brought it together. It became Faith Emmanuel Lutheran Church.
Okay.
So it was now one body, and I was like the pastor, and we continue to grow. And so some of the things we have done, this is very important because sometimes people think church is just Sunday morning. No,
Yeah.
church is every day. So we have a track here there that run from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's a Girl Scout that meets there. And one of the things we recently started was the food cover, where through Delaware County Share Food Program, we give food 2 times a week on Wednesday and Fridays. And then the new thing we are thinking on right now, as there are a lot of young families in the church, we started a club for married people, but we want to start another club for young parents. So I'm really thinking about it as a parental support club where, we can help, because some of us are young parents, and unlike Africa or other places where we have grandma and grandpa around, and even some mama to help us raise our children, we don't have those people around, and we don't have the experience. Like my case, I did not have a lot of parenting experience directly. So one of the new things we're trying to do is we have to create a club where we can have young and older parents have some kind of action. Say, for instance, on a Saturday, Judy and Spencer have to travel somewhere and they are part of the club. One of us will take the kids, stay with us, and, stuff like that. Just help. In Africa, we say it takes the whole village.
Yeah, of course.
To raise the child, and that's true of us. And that's, part of one of the things we really need to own and claim. But there are a lot of good stuff we have as Africans. And one of the bad things that happened with colonization, when the white folks came to Africa, they make us hate everything.
Yes.
That we had a culture there, because they wanted to sell to us what they had. So all of the good stuff with no culture that we have to bring it here at some time. The individualism is good in some extent, but supporting each other is more better than individualistic culture, which the white man, or Western civilization, let me leave the racial language where Western civilization
I like
tries to
white
put it.
I don't sugarcoat it. I said the white man.
Yeah.
That's just how we look at it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Your journey is pretty interesting. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna lie to
very
you. This is my first time really talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated.
Well, I'm sitting down here because I respect this young man. He's been one of my really great inspiration of what a young person can do. Being responsible, being doing your best in every way you can. So yeah.
So now I know you came here, you got established. Were you talk a little bit more now your personal life?
Yes. That's very, very professional. Yeah. So
having kids and all that.
So I did tell you, for some reason I was the conservative side of when it comes to relationship. Literally, I didn't get into serious relationship till high school. And even that, it was just on the surface. So even college year, I really got into a serious relationship, but the first one didn't last. And so I came to America, and then literally the last year of my school, it's good to have friends, just like our company, like kind of friend like Spencer, but this was a younger guy, older guy. But in Ghana, he was in the church. He used to have this cell phone business, on the refugee camp. If you ever be on the refugee camp, that one of the businesses that really made money. People call from America, and so he was one of those. He had that kind of business, Eric. So he has some family friends, and he knew my wife now. So he and her, she was like a big sister to him. So big sister come to visit small brother from Minnesota. Small brother said to big sister, like go visit my big brother. So I'll be in my dormitory room, chilling, doing my book thing, and then they come and visit, and then she go back to Minnesota, and then, we started talking.
Pastor got
That's time for everything now. There was time to get a woman in my life. So that's how I met my wife now.
Wow.
Literally, we did that just for about 7-8 months. And that is very important. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody. Because it's good so not to know the woman you are married to, because she can make or break you. Vice versa, the man you are getting married can make or break you. But she was like the woman for me. So when I met her, we did that for 9-8 months. So I met her in February. Then in that same year, we got married in December.
Okay, hold on, Pat. Are you telling me? Help me understand this, Pastor.
Yeah.
You knew in 9 months.
Yes. Yes.
Ladies, don't let him tell you in 2 years or 4 years. This is not a university.
This life after school, right?
This is not university curse. Okay, no. 4 years. Pastor knew in 9 months.
Yeah.
He didn't need 4 years.
She knew that too, It's 2 ways.
He also did say it's an individual thing too. There's no time frame on it.
That's amazing, man.
Don't go home and tell him to put a ring on it. Don't put together too long. Let him be ready.
Yes, it's good to be ready because when you are ready, the pieces fall in place. So yeah, we got married 2004.
Wow.
Not 2004, 2005. Because I finished school in 2004. So we got married December 2005. 2006. And then I started the church work 2006. So one of the things I always had in mind, and which I learned this work we're going to, is good to have a wife because the temptation was going to be too much. And part of the rules, which I hope they will change, you can't find a woman from your church.
Wait, what do you mean? Hold on.
So if you're the pastor, you start a church,
you
can't find wife
in the church.
So I knew all of that rule. I said, hey, I gotta find my woman before I do that. And I was ready, and she was ready. And so
wow.
we got married in December. Can you believe that? It's cold. It snowed on our wedding day.
That's amazing.
So fast forward, Denise and Serena came along, and then right now we had Jaden, Aliyah, and Jordan.
So 5 kids?
Yes, 5
Oh
kids.
man, Pastor. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got one, and I'm like, yeah. At first I thought I wanted more, but
Yeah, so
In America, it's harder, bro.
it's hard.
of course.
I have 2 right now. I'm getting rid of. Anybody want to adopt kids? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
But I mean, adopting biological for all is the same, you know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow. So
So, like Spencer is saying, if you have an opportunity to adopt a kid and you have the home to take care of them, it's good because there are a lot of kids who need that. And honestly, in my own life, I was adopted by my aunt because my mom, she was young, like I said. And so my aunt raised me, and I call her mama because she was my mom who raised me. So, and that's something I really want to talk about because this show is very important for us Black folks because one of the big problems we are having today is that our kids don't have adults and people to raise them up, and so they grow up frustrated, and sometimes they make real bad choices. But the statistics say if you have a positive older person in your life to guide you and to support you, you can succeed. So it don't have to be your biological. It could be your friend's child. It could be any child. And good thing in America, you don't do it for free, you know. Especially if you do it through the system, you know, you get paid to do that. So there's incentives in doing that. So I just want to put that out there.
That's
know.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So now we're talking about incentives. We're gonna get into the numbers of things, which everybody wants to know. So, how much money did you have to say that you spent into investing into your craft?
I know. It's outrageous. Personally, my student loan for my yes, you have to go to school in America. So for my master's and my doctorate, 100 grand plus. Yeah.
what?
Yeah, 100 grand plus. Yeah.
So
plus other subsidies, but the one that I had to pay back. Yeah, 100 grand plus.
So yeah, bro.
Yeah. But the good thing is, though, thank God, there's some smart people who think otherwise. There's this thing called student loan forgiveness. If you're a public servant, and literally, this is breaking news. I'm in the process of having my loan forgiven because you have to pay like 120 payment, and after that,
That's like 10 years if you do once a month. Jesus.
yeah. So I'm almost at that place where my student loan will be forgiven because if you are a pastor, a police, government worker, school teacher, you qualify for student loan because they call it public service.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so it was 100 grand to really get to where I needed to be. And thankfully, I didn't go to undergraduate school in America because had I gone to undergraduate, I did a 40 grand.
Yeah, that's great.
But thank God today we are coming to the realization that you don't have to have a 4-year or 6-year degree, college degree to pursue your area of interest. But there are some professions that still require that.
So I had a question with that, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like maybe it's just me. I feel like I would probably be more comfortable with maybe it's just like being brainwashed to think that with a pastor that when your route, you know, the quote unquote correct route.
Tradition, right?
Yeah. That would be like more like of a sticking point for if I want to go to your church, like this guy, Pastor Dennis, went to his PhD in theology versus Pastor Jackson, who just woke up and said he felt the Lord touched him, and now he has a church there on the side, on the block, and now so I don't know because I feel like we're in this age of social media pastors now, where you have a lot of these guys or prosperity pastors where they just flaunting money on social media that they're pastor, wearing Gucci suits head to toe, designer this, designer that, and I feel like they're just selling gimmick to me.
Yeah. One of the things I try to do is to preserve judgment, but we are in a free society where you can buy whatever you want, you can live however you want. So God gave us choice, so you have a choice who your pastor is. But I think there are 2 people in life we are told in Western civilization we have to choose carefully. It's your lawyer and your pastor, because those 2 people, they are literally can make a huge difference in your life. So you choose your pastor and think about the future, what you want out of a pastor. You know, we live in this bling culture, so sometimes they are selling what the culture wants, and consumerism. So we have a choice.
Okay, and with those choices, what a lot of people don't understand and know, want to know, how do pastors get paid?
Oh, yeah. So if you are in my kind of a traditional church, there's what we call minimum salary you have to be paid. So in our church, what we call the base salary, when I started, it was around 45,000.
Now, who pays that?
Your church.
Your church pays it.
Yes. But if your church don't have the capacity, our regional body helps. So like in my case, for the first 5 years, they help until we became quote unquote self-sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah, and our quote unquote again, I don't like to use this class stuff, but for the sake of understanding, this church is what they call a middle class church. So a lot of people go there, school teacher, police officer. So they can afford to, because they don't make similar money in their career. So you serve people of your peer or people of your caliber. So, but it's in all cases it's not like that. Like me, the people I was serving, no disrespect. You know, they were refugee. They had just come to this country. So our regional body had to help.
Of course.
But so our regional body have, and still today they still continue to help, because honestly, by my level of qualification, they wouldn't just afford me having me there. And I want to be there to serve my people, so they've always helped along the way. And we've been very creative to create other avenues to bring in resources to support the work. Yeah. So base salary for most traditional Lutheran churches start around 45 to 50,000. That's what they call the base salary. Then there are other incentives like medical, retirement, and all that stuff that pay into.
The church don't do enough for people. For example, I feel like, and this probably go to more of a business thing, I feel the church should help the people more, because if I'm in your church, I'm tithing, and I lose my job.
You should be.
I feel like the church should help me until I get back on my feet or something. Some sort of, I think I've heard some churches that do that, but I don't know. But I feel like a lot of churches don't. They just care about that one day Sunday.
It's true. That's a rule in our church. You know, there are certain times if you bereave, there are certain obligations we have to you.
Okay.
And as a pastor, you got to know your members, what's going on in their life, because beside the personal side, they are content and mihata, and the church should be a community to support you just as you support the church.
Yes.
And so that's something we do, and we practice that. I just told you, we do run the track, and we host the Girl Scout, we do the feeding program, and we make the announcement all the time. If you fall on high time, let's talk. We may not have the physical cash, but we can push button here and there. And in cases where we have the physical cash, we do it. But your church should be able to be there for you when you need them most.
Yeah. And that's where I feel I feel like just the young generation, a lot of them fell away from the church, because it just seems like, you have the pastor preaching holy, 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 and then through their private life, they don't live it.
Yeah. It's just thinking about the spiritual part, but life is holistic. You got to think about the person's social, family, economic background. So one of the things I really do, I push empowerment. We one of the things we do is really think about young children, to think about career path. I tell them every Sunday they are smart, they are intelligent, they are college and career, and not just saying it, but helping them to navigate the process of doing that. Because you can say all you want, but if you don't take the practical step to help somebody, you're just wasting your time. So it's no mistake that a lot of the young people left the church because they said the church was being a little bit hypocritical, it's different thing and live different thing. And we are trying to change that by the grace of God. So
that's another reason why, like I said, we are here today to get some clarity on a lot of things. Because for me, we always talk about religion. I always tell you, just majority of the time, just read the Bible for yourself. Whatever it is you're getting into, before you open, how you call it? IKEA, one of the hardest things to do. If you don't read them in, you are not getting it done. So just read for yourself and try to get a complete understanding of what it is that you're getting into. But so we've covered the finances of the churches, how pastors get paid, structures of different churches.
Yeah, and it's good you said that, because in the church we have what we call a board or a council. They are supposed to have the oversight. The pastor is not supposed to be in charge of the money, and the institutional churches, the pastor is not in charge of the money. We have a council, a board, we have a treasurer, we have
Do those people get paid too, or they kind of have
no? Most of them are volunteer. Only it's a huge operation where they have to put in a lot of time.
So the kind of is all volunteer.
Yeah, because it's a non-profit. You're supposed to do good to the community. The church is classified as a non-profit. So like you were saying, we're supposed to do a lot of good. That's why we are not taxed on our income, because we're supposed to use our income to do good in the community and in the neighborhood and to our members. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. So I did get a lot of clarity. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Got a lot of clarity. And
Because I definitely did. Because like I said, with me, it's not like against churches. I just had this whole, because I'm the kind of person so let me use like churches back home for example. I genuinely don't like a lot of churches back home in Africa. Just say Liberia. 'Cause I haven't been to other countries, but I feel like they just, again, when you have that level of poverty, and then the church over there built a huge church. All the congregation, remember this? Some of them living in zinc houses. And the church over there. Then that you look up one year, the pastor
is wearing the most expensive suit, driving
a car. Pastor built a house. Pastor doing this, pastor doing that. It's like, wait, who's praying for who at this point? Because I could be coming tithing every day. And then I look up, the pastor got 2 rental properties. Pastor got an apartment. Pastor got a house. And I'm still in my zinc house. Working, selling my market, and I'm going to church every Sunday, Thursday service, this, and
that's wrong. That's just plain wrong. We got to do better than that. And so the church is supposed to exist to help people, not enrich the pastor. And I'm not boasting here. And as a pastor, it's not wrong to have businesses and other interests, but it shouldn't just be at the expense of the church.
Yes.
The church money should be for the church money to do the work of the church, which is supposed to do good for the community and for the neighborhood. So that's why I like my kind of structure, because there's system, there's structure, Today, one of the things I'm praying through my experience, I'll write books and other stuff, but the proceeds of that, I would tithe it to the church because the church helped me get the experience. So it's better to have a structure, because without structure, it becomes a one-person show and it doesn't end well.
So as a pastor, and we ask everybody this question, okay,
Yes.
what is one of your biggest regrets?
Oh, that's a good one. My biggest regret is there are some things I wish I had understood earlier if I had certain experiences. So for instance, when I started the church, we had some situation that I could have handled differently, but I didn't know better. But as far as being a pastor, I have no regrets. But there are some personal mistakes that I made along the way. And thank God, the divine providence, it didn't go out of hand. Like some certain conflict I should have handled better, I didn't handle it better. Certain decision I should have made better, I didn't make better. So it's very good you ask these questions, because it's very good to have people you can consult to, you can confide in, especially as a young person, so that the wisdom that have in the underages can guide you. So never be a loner. I think because when you're a loner, you make some huge mistakes, and some of the mistakes you may not be able to recover. So as a person, those are some of the regrets I have. But as far as being a pastor, I have no regret, because I think I've done the best I can do, and I've helped as many people as I can help, just as I was helped coming up as a young man.
I know one thing I know, I've been on this pastor for almost 10 years now. And one thing I know for a fact that he do talk so highly about you. So I
do the same.
Yeah, I'm glad that you have such an impact on him, and even some of the other people I met through him. That I've been to the church a handful of times.
And I will say this: we'll make mistakes. We all will make mistakes, but be humble to acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. I always tell the church folk, everything that happens to everybody happens to everybody, but it happens at the time, and how you respond and react to it determines the outcome. Whether it's with your marriage, with your kids, with your job, with people. You'll make mistakes, but learn from it, own up to it, and learn and go forward.
So my last question is, this is just more of a social kind of question. How do you feel about pastors or religious leaders being so involved in politics?
So that's a big question. So it depends the orientation you have or the background you come from. Like the Baptist pastor being politician. Even in Liberia, Todd was a Baptist ordained minister. So personally, I think if you want to be a professional politician, be a politician. If you want to be a professional pastor, be a pastor. But pastors do have the rights, both social, religious, to speak. If government do the best, acknowledge it. If they do wrong, also speak about it. But personally, I would rather, if I want to be a politician, let me do the political work. If I want to be a pastor, let me do the pastor work.
So you don't think pastors should
be
commenting on all that?
You can comment, but don't be biased. Don't be biased, because once you take side, then you become.
That's another.
You lose your moral authority. Speak to issues.
Yes.
Speak when people do so. Talk about what they do and leave their personal stuff out.
That's another reason too why, like with me, like I personally don't think that pastors should be out here like don't matter Republican, Democrat, I don't care, but don't be out here outwardly supporting politicians, support people, and speak about the issues of the people, not so much that this one particular politician, that particular politician. I feel like once you start doing that, you kind of start, because then when you support that person, you basically supporting who they are in that character.
And you would even divide your congregation because that would be
you're supporting who that character is. So you can't now to me you seem like a hypocrite, because you can't say, oh, I'm a pastor, I believe this, believe that, but you're supporting this particular person who is this, and then this particular person who is like that. You know, it's like you can't. I don't know. I feel like you can't do both.
Yeah, I mean, that's personally, I feel the same way, but some people do both. Like Senator Warner from Georgia.
I know about him. Yep.
Minister, so.
Yep, I know Raphael Warner. I definitely know about him. I heard him.
And Todd was an ordained Baptist minister, so depending what denomination.
And that's another thing to add. Just read your Bible for yourself and try to understand it for yourself. You know, only God can save you.
Amen. I agree to that. Yep.
Yeah, and once again, we just want to tell Pastor, thank you for coming around.
Thank you.
In the meantime, we also like to give you the opportunity to give, special thanks, to everybody too. And how can people get in contact with you? And basically, we're recruiting for the church.
Yeah, thank you. So. Yeah, it's good you said that, because salvation, like you said, is something that God does for each individual, but you also need a community that can support you. Like right here, you guys have a community that support each other in doing this thing. In the same way, it's good to be connected to a church that can also support you, and you can support them, because in the end, we all need somebody that we can lean on, and having a pastor is an important thing. So I am reachable on Facebook. Pastor is Moses Suah. And of course, I don't know if I can give up a number, but yes, 267-259-0538 is my phone number. And you can find me at 65 Penn Boulevard any day of the week in East Lansdowne.
And one more thing. Also, do pastors offer counseling?
Of course.
Okay, cool. So
Yes. And that's a good thing, because like I said, a pastor and your lawyer can make a break. Anything you talk to a pastor about is confidential, so you can talk to me. No limit. It could be about anything. I will share my earnest opinion and guidance for you, and I keep it to myself and pray for you. That's the most I can do. So
I like that.
Yeah.
My last thing I said, you definitely, I enjoy talking with you, because you definitely give me a lot of clarity and a lot of, just a little bit more optimism when it comes to, to pastors. Because I know about 3 pastors that I've been knowing for years now. Yeah. That I've had personal relationship with. One of them is my friend's dad, and I've been a great guy. I love him. He's very knowledgeable. Similar like you. Yep. The other guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but we have so well.
Let's leave the name out.
So
keep that, protect their confidential stuff.
We done for other reasons. And then, but I'm glad to talk to you, because you definitely give me a lot more, hope and understanding that, to even start even looking back into going back to church and getting back into church, and seeing you actually talk about it and actually live it from your experiences definitely give me a lot of good positive feeling. So I appreciate that. So I just wanted to say that.
I share the same sentiment, and thank you guys for doing this. I think this is good. I like the name of the show, and I like the fact that you are doing this. You are really getting a message out there, and I'm glad I can add my voice to your voice to share this message.
All right, perfect. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, thanks you guys for tuning into School's Over. Hopefully you guys learned something that school didn't teach you, and I hope we're a good professor to you.
Thank you.
All right, and once again, if you want to reach out to a pastor, it's Faith
Emmanuel Lutheran Church.
Faith Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and the address is 65 Penn Boulevard. If you're looking for a church to go to, you're more than welcome to go there. His phone number is 267-259-0538. Thanks, you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully we can bring you more content. Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.